Hey everyone, at On My Closet, I'm here with Miss Kasha Davis at the Laurie Beechman on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
So, saw your show.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Did you enjoy it?
I really did. Your pianist, what's the name?
My pianist, Josh Smith.
Josh Smith. I thought you said John Smith. I mean, so I thought that would make you Pocahontas. I mean, Pocahontas, right?
You're adorable.
All right. So you revealed so much in your show about growing up.
Yes.
There's a large portion, dedicated to your life and your experiences. When did you first realize that you were gay, and what was it like coming out to your family and the transition of your experiences?
I always knew that I was attracted to men. I didn't know what that meant. I just thought, okay, what's going on? And I would, as a child, I just always knew, teenager, let's say, and I was like, okay, bury that. And I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and we're talking like the 70s and 80s. So there were no gay people. There were no good examples for me. The people that I did know that were gay were also closeted. I knew that they were gay, but nobody admitted it. So, there weren't good examples with what you have today. But I still believe the story like There's Always Time for a Cocktail is relevant because a lot of youth and individuals that are older are struggling still with, just explaining it to their family. It was very difficult. My parents were very old school. My dad still is, but he's really come around. He's got 2 lesbian daughters and a gay son, so he's got not much of a choice. And we're all married, so we live what he considers the normal life. But he began to become more and more supportive once he realized there's nothing he can do about it. And I think that's what you have to understand is you have to stand up for yourself. And I had to separate from my family. My friend Sam is here, and we created our own family. We needed each other during that time frame when our family was like, no, because they wanted to control us, and we just stood our ground, and eventually they ended up coming around. So that can happen, and I want people to know that. It's just you got to stick true to your guns.
So were you taunted growing up? When people saw differences and they couldn't put their finger on it, but say, oh, you're queer, you're different.
Oh yes, I was always whatever sissy, queerball, fairy, all the different names, and I fought it to the point where one of my best friends, who was also gay, we got into a fist fight because we were both. He was teasing me, and we were both repressing it, and so we laugh about this today. We're still close, but yeah, it was not acceptable, and we were just made fun of constantly. So I actually played football. I was a tackle.
Wide receiver or quarterback? I'm just kidding.
Quarterback.
So growing up now, you eventually did come out to your family, and you had a beautiful love story, a perfect love story. So do you believe in finding love?
Absolutely. And we were both looking for the same thing. We both wanted to have, what we had, because he was also married to a woman, and we had that, the home, and he has the 2 children. And so it was like a dream come true. Because I had spent some time just in a depressed state because I thought, I'm not going to be able to. It's not that I couldn't have kids. I was like, a lot of the guys that I would meet didn't have any interest in it, which is fine. But I just wasn't able to find anybody, and he kept it from me for a while because, of course, we didn't know if we were going to work out. And then eventually, when he told me, it was like, oh my God, I was on cloud 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it did get better for you.
Oh yeah.
The whole story.
It's totally got better, and it started off very romantic, and then it just got better and better, and we moved in together very quickly, which scared our friends. Yeah. But it just clicked.
Do they call you lesbians?
Pretty much.
With your cat. So how did the whole drag thing start for you, or getting into drag, or saying, hey?
Well, I worked for a telemarketing company, and I just left. I was there for 18 years, and now I'm just full-time Mrs. Kasha Davis, which is also a dream. I was a theater major in college, and I took this real job to be realistic. And I wasn't following my dream of performing. But drag gave me the opportunity to create a character, everything that you want to do in theater. You get to do everything.
Yeah.
You direct yourself, you're costume designer, all of it. And so I would get to do those shows at night, and it didn't interfere with work. So I was able to balance both. My husband is so supportive with it that I'm so lucky, and that's not easy to find, either. A drag husband.
So let's backtrack a little. Starting with your name, Kasha Davis. For those who didn't watch the trailer of RuPaul Drag Race, explain your drag name.
Well, first of all, it's Mrs. Kasha Davis.
Mrs. Oh.
You have to say Mrs. Only
Mrs.
because it's a niche that I wanted to find, like, to be one of the first Mrs.
Okay.
And
Got it.
it's sometimes some drag queens find it an insult, but I love it. You know, married lady, Mrs. Kasha Davis, and yeah, Kasha, first pet, Davis, first street I grew up on, and Little Angry Poodle, which I think is kind of perfect for a drag name. And normally other queens name you, but I was like, nope, first pet, first street. I just like the way it sounds. And then, you know, Rue kind of came up with he was sick of saying Mrs. Kasha Davis, so he would say MKD.
Yeah.
So I was like, yes, I have a nickname now too.
Alrighty. So, amazing thing in the drag community. You know, you'll have friends and you'll have foes. Yourself and Darienne Lake are both from Rochester. What's your relationship like?
Oh, great. We were talking on the phone on the way down. We do a drag brunch together at a restaurant called Edibles there. But we've had him over for Thanksgiving. I mean, there was a time, again, where he wasn't really close with his family, and it was like, you know, we were the misfit toys. We'd all get together for the holidays and have our own family. But Darienne, yeah, when Darienne was doing her video, she was filming her video, part of her video at our house.
Wow.
So I was auditioning too, but I was like, fine, I'll help you. But she did amazing on her season. So
Yeah, she did. And are you guys, you know, do you watch RuPaul Drag Race together now and have, you know, your bets of who's going to win, who's going to place?
Oh, sure. We had a viewing party that we would have every Monday, like a lot of the cities do. And Darienne and I would host that together, both season 6 and season 7. And everybody gets into it. And they love it when you're there and you're in drag. And it's just you're telling some stories. That's what's telling. Just little things. But yeah, honestly, I'm Team Ginger Minge all the way. I don't dislike Pearl or Violet. I think that they have their fashion and their talents. But Ginger comes from the same school, you know, the theatrical school. She gets out there. She does a show here at the Laurie Beechman Theater, and you know, I know it had rave reviews, and she's coming back. So, you know, that's the kind of drag that I've grown up on, and she sings and she does all kinds of things like that on her own.
And with your experience with Drag Race, you did audition a few times?
All 7 seasons.
Wow.
So I think I'm one of the only ones that Rue knows of that auditioned every season. I don't believe in giving up on anything. I mean, why bother?
You know, it's funny that you say that. Was there ever a time in your life where you felt like just giving up with life, or, you know, saying, this gay thing is hard? What are some, you know, words of encouragement that you would say to a young person who is, you know, really at the end say, maybe I should take my life. Life seems difficult. I can't find love. No one's going to accept me.
Right.
What's a pep talk that Kasha Davis would get?
You know, a friend of mine posted on Facebook today about, you know, start every day with a positive thought. And there have been those days in my life, like everybody else, where I just lie there in bed and I'm like, I can't even crawl out of it. Like, I'm so depressed. And you start to put 2 and 2 together and you realize everybody has something.
Yeah.
Nobody is out there that has a perfect life. No matter how they try to portray it, there's something that they're dealt with or they're dealing with. And so you're not alone. And the best thing you can do is talk. You know, my husband and I, we are very different that way. He's more quiet. And when things bottle up on him, he just is quiet for such a long time and he beats himself up. If you just get it off your chest, you can talk to a professional, you can talk to your friends. You've got to talk about it, get it out, and then just realize you're not alone. You know, I you know, feel as though, you know, people like ourselves doing this type of thing, it's important to beg people to not take their life. Talk to other people. It can cause more harm. Your loved ones, regardless of how close you are, it's going to be devastation in their life, and they don't, you know, and you don't deserve it. You will get through it. I know that you will, and I've had to tell myself, you're going to get through it, no matter what it might have been. You know, even 7 auditions for Drag Race. Ha ha! You get through it.
You get through it. Well, thanks so much for hanging out with us and for your words of encouragement and hope.
Yes.
So you guys
Thank
can
you.
check out her video on all our social media. And what's next for you?
What's next? Well, the finale party is here in New York City
Yes.
on the 1st. I'll be down for that. And then I'm touring. I've got some Chicago dates and some Houston dates. So it's fabulous. But I am actually the suburban housewife now, because part of my week is like, well, I guess I'll mow the lawn and clean the house and well, it's 4 o'clock. I guess I could have a glass of Chardonnay. What the heck? Everything's done.
There's always room for a cocktail.
There's always time for a cocktail.
Well, guys, thank you so much for rocking out with us. It's Mike Lorraine and Miss Kasha Davis.
Mrs.
Mrs. Oh, I'm sorry. Intention. Bye, guys.
Thank you.